It's Bubble and Bonnie, ready to share another great Bubble and Bible story with you. I really miss seeing you all at church, since your smiles and your bursts of joy fill up my heart. I hope and pray that you are all healthy and safe. Now, you might have noticed I'm not in the church. This is actually my house, and it's a great setting for our Bible story where Jesus goes to the house of his friends to share a meal with them. The theme for this story is Anoint. Throughout the Bible, anointing with oil is a way to mark someone for a special and sacred reason. Let's hear more about it in today's story from the book of John, the 12th chapter. Just 6 days before the big Passover festival and a celebration, Jesus and his disciples went to the town of Bethany. Jesus had friends that lived there. Lazarus, whom you might remember, Jesus brought back from the dead, and Lazarus' 2 sisters, Mary and Martha. They were bursting and bubbling with excitement to see Jesus. They prepared a special supper for Jesus and his disciples. Martha was so busy being the hostess. She was cleaning, she was cooking, she was serving the food. Lazarus, he lounged at the table, chatting with Jesus and eating the food. But then Mary took a jar of really expensive oil and poured it all over Jesus' feet. Lazarus, Martha, and the disciples stopped what they were doing. They stared. They couldn't believe their eyes or their noses. They all looked around. They were so confused, and some were even surprised. When Mary finished pouring the oil, she took her hair and she began to wipe Jesus' feet with her hair. Mary did this to show how grateful to God she was for sending Jesus to earth for them. The disciples sniffed. What a wonderful smell. The expensive perfume filled the whole house with an amazing smell. But one disciple, named Judas, was bursting with anger. Why are you wasting that expensive oil? It cost a whole year's worth of pay. You should have sold it and used it to buy food for the hungry people. Now, what you need to know about Judas is he was a thief and he did not care about the hungry people. In fact, he was stealing from the disciples all the time to keep the money for himself. Judas was a very selfish and ungrateful person. But Jesus calmly said to defend Mary, "Leave her alone, Judas. She is showing me a great honor while I am still here with you. She understands what is about to happen to me, and this might be her last chance to do something kind for me." Mary was so grateful because that's all she wanted to do. She wanted to anoint Jesus with oil as a way to worship and honor him. The word of the Lord. You remember what we say? And if you remember the sign language, do it with me. Thanks be to God. Now, I hope you take some time this week to talk together about ways to honor God like Mary did when she anointed Jesus. It could be a small act like smiling to brighten someone's day. Or you could call your grandparents and check in on them to see how they are doing. Those acts where we share God's love with others is a great way to honor and worship God. Now, lastly, this week's Pop-In Project uses oil to make a beautiful picture. Check out the devotional for directions for this Pop-In Project. See you next week for another Bubble and Bible story.